Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that can make or break your AI project, writing the requirements. We're going to show you how to ditch those confusing documents and create a blueprint that your engineering team will actually be excited to work with. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been part of a project that promised mind-blowing AI, but, well, it just ended in frustration? You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Endless meetings, deadlines that just fly by, and a final product that feels like it's from a different planet than what you originally planned.
But what if there was a better way? A new standard for AI requirements that finally closes that gap between your big vision and what your tech team can actually build. Well, today, that's exactly what we're doing. We're uncovering the blueprint that will make your projects way more efficient and truly impactful.
Okay, let's get real for a second. The hard truth is, the number one reason so many AI projects fail has nothing to do with the code. It's not even about the data. It's the requirements. If you get this first step wrong, you're basically building on a foundation of sand, and the whole thing is pretty much doomed from the start. This quote right here, it hits the nail on the head. You just can't use the same old checklists you'd use for regular software. AI is a completely different animal. It's built on probabilities, not guarantees. And getting your head around that one simple fact, well, it changes everything. So let's really dig into what that means, thinking in probabilities. Because to write amazing AI requirements, you first have to understand this massive difference between AI and the kind of software projects most of us are used to. Here's the breakdown. Traditional software is deterministic. You click a button, the same thing happens every single time. It's predictable. AI, on the other hand, is probabilistic. It gives you the most likely answer, not a guaranteed one. So the whole conversation shifts from, hey, does this feature work, to, okay, how well is this model performing?
All right, so we've laid out the problem. Now let's talk about the solution. This 5-part blueprint is designed to slice right through all that fog and uncertainty. It turns a vague wish into a concrete plan your engineers can actually get their hands on and build.
These are the 5 pillars. That's it. Think of this as the constitution for your project. It's the one document that gets everybody, from the execs to the data scientists, on the same page, aiming for the exact same goal. Let's walk through them.
First, and honestly the most important one, the business objective. You have to start with the why. What's the problem you're trying to solve? We need an AI chatbot is not a good requirement, but we need to slash our customer service response times by 40%. Now that's a goal. That gives your team something real to work toward.
And a clear objective leads you right to the next question. How will we know if we've succeeded? That brings us to performance metrics. Vague goals are an engineer's worst enemy. You need a specific, measurable number. Something like, the model needs to hit at least 92% accuracy. Now your engineer has a concrete target to aim for. Okay, theory is great and all, but let's make this super practical. We're going to take a typical, kind of useless requirement and, using our blueprint, we're going to transform it into something valuable, and more importantly, something that can actually be built. Come on, we've all seen a requirement that looks something like this. It sounds so simple, right? But for an engineer, this is a nightmare. Whose faces? What kind of photos? Low light? Blurry? How fast does it need to be? This is exactly the kind of vague wish that leads to endless rework and failure.
Now, look at the difference. Look at that transformation on the right. This is a valuable requirement. It answers all those questions we just asked. It specifies the goal, registered employees, the data, the HR database, a clear metric, 95% accuracy, and a key constraint, under 500 milliseconds. See? This isn't a wish anymore. It's a roadmap.
Okay, so you have the blueprint. But a blueprint is just a piece of paper if you don't use it right. So let's talk about how to put this into practice and, just as important, what common traps you need to sidestep.
The single most important takeaway here is that this has to be a team sport. Get your engineers in the room from day one. Ask them, is this even possible? Start with a high-level idea, get their feedback, and then refine it together. Oh, and learning a few basic terms like model accuracy or bias, it goes a long way in building trust.
And finally, let's look at the mistakes to avoid. Think of these as giant red flags. Please
Don't overpromise what the AI can do. Never, ever forget the golden rule. Garbage in, garbage out. The quality of your data will determine the quality of your model. And always, always set those measurable targets. If you don't, you're just flying blind.
So, we've covered a lot: how to take these fuzzy goals and turn them into crystal clear roadmaps your team can follow. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to get you started. Looking back at that 5-part blueprint, which one of those components are you going to implement first to make your very next AI project better? Thanks for joining us.